Hello and welcome back to Bouncy Castle. This is our life, beginnings and always. I don't have a whole lot of time to record. I guess this is just kind of how my life is lately. But pretty soon I'm taking my own road trip here. So let's see if we can do a fun moment today. It'll probably be multiple videos for each one of these now at the rate they're going, if birthday was any indication. Oh wow, that's the second time I rolled that. Well, it really wants me to do it. So, without further ado, we're just plowing through all these DLC moments. Today we are doing Escapade, which is one of my favorites, but I'm a little disappointed that we're doing it already. But that's just how this dice wants to roll for some reason. They keep getting 8s. You looked up, noticing the sun was finally setting. You'd been trying to delay the end of the day for as long as possible. The evening breeze tickled your nose as you sat in your front porch munching on fresh watermelon slices. Stuff made you happy? Well, watermelon was just okay. You were eating it because watermelon was a summer tradition. You weren't even sure why you were eating it. This is kind of how I feel about watermelon. I don't know. Sure. It was always the go-to after dinner snack at your household during the summer months. It was a special something that didn't really happen during the rest of the year. It's true. Like, a lot of people do that, and I do that too. Like, it just sounds good for, like, picnics and stuff. But I'm not one of the people that would be like, oh yeah, I want to get watermelon other times of the year. I don't know. You turned to look at Cove. You'd both been sitting in comfortable silence for a while now. Of course Cove is there. Of course Cove is there. It's always Cove. Cove is always there. He sat next to you on the steps of your house. He was happily absorbed in his thoughts and his own slice of watermelon. Chuckling as you watched as his face twisted in discomfort, he had to stop chewing to spit a seed into the bush. You shook your head in disapproval. You did the same as spat seed in the bushes. I bet I can spit a seed farther than you. Immediately, you shoved the majority of what was left of your watermelon slice into your mouth just to get a seed to prove your point. As soon as you could, you should see that you sent that seed sailing in the middle of the street. Did you see that, Cove? Cove burst into laughter that slowed him to a wide grin. You could tell he was equal parts surprised and impressed. Can you do that again? I didn't see where it landed. Of course I can. You popped another seed into your mouth and focused on where the last one landed. Setting the seed free, you got it to go even further this time.
Not bad.
Not bad. You had Cove chuckling again. It was taking a lot to focus to stay looking serious and not to break into laughter yourself. I'd like to see you try. So this is something I've been thinking about, but I think I just thought of how to vocalize it, how to put it into words. So now I have to and interject the whole thing. This is a romance game, right? This man is supposed to be a romance partner for the most part, unless you choose one of the other boys or whatever that you can get options to romance. I keep thinking this is not a romance story I'm writing. I've made this very clear. I don't intend to do like romance with Cove, but it feels so wholesome and there's such good chemistry between the characters. But I think Cove is written in such a way that no matter how you play your character, there's always going to be good chemistry. Like, he's just always going to be exactly what you need. And that's the sign of... I razz this writer a lot over her tense and her little things that I find annoying. But I think that the character of Cove Holden especially is written very well, in that he's always going to be a comfort character, no matter what kind of person you're playing. Even if you're trying not to be close to him. I would be interested to see what happens if you pick a different for every stage. And you just don't... But I think then you wouldn't have the moments with Cove. Like, you just wouldn't see him. He'd just be your distant neighbor that you might hear about once in a while. And all these moments would be really short. And you wouldn't get that much out of the game. I think. But, who knows? I'd like to see you try. I will. Cove took in a mouthful of watermelon, face grimacing with when he had the seed. Then his expression morphed into a focused look and he sent the seed flying, landing in a similar spot to yours. Wait, you got to do too. I need another try. He spoke before you could even comment on his non-victory. His determination got you laughing. He quickly sent another closer to where your second one had landed. Seems we're evenly matched for now.
Yeah,
for now. For the next several minutes, you both kept carving seeds from your slices and giggling at the ridiculousness of the competition. Eventually, a truce was called. You both went back to eating their likely watermelon slush. I wonder if I'll have another slice after this one. That one's your third already. Is that bad? It tastes really good. He bumped him with your shoulder. Unable to resist, you knocked the most finished slice out of his hand. You smiled at him. No, it's alright. It's definitely bad, you said affectionately. Yeah, no. See, there's stuff like this in here, too. You could be doing a little crushing. You bumped him with your shoulder. Cove matched your smirk. He gave you a nudge in return. We're not gonna knock his watermelon out of his hand. Who does that? A little while later, Cove flinched, making a confused sound. He slowly put his current slice down the plate next to him. I can't eat more than one. That's enough. One slice of watermelon is more than enough, man, at a time. Are you okay? Yeah. He stood up, head tilted back to look at the sky. His feet took him to the middle of the street. Did you notice anything? What do you mean?
Huh.
I felt a raindrop. Sun's still out. You put down your watermelon slice and hopped off from your front step. Immediately, you felt a tap of water on the crown of your head, making you yell. You're right. Cole was still staring up at the sky, and you watched as he began blinking more rapidly. When he finally turned in your direction, his face was bemused. I like the rain filter they put over the picture. This is probably the only time in the whole game they use this, but they made it perfect. It's a sun shower. It seemed crazy, but soon you couldn't avoid the drops that began increasing into a light shower. Booming with laughter, Cole kicked off his shoes towards his front door and reveled in the moment. You were excited. You hid from the rain. You were annoyed with the sudden sprinkling. You were excited. You closed your eyes and threw your head back, letting the rain shower over you. Cool drops felt so right after the warmth of the day. Summer rains. You can never predict them. Feeling energized, you ran over to Cove and laughed at how soaked he already was. Not that he cared, because he was busy spinning in the middle of the street. Spin faster! He complied. It was only when Cove started to slip and his laughter turned into hiccups that he dizzily stopped. Just as suddenly as the sprinkling started, it stopped and left him dripping away with the smell of wet asphalt and soil tickling your nose. And now we have Cove, and he's all sultry and wet, ladies. Cove caught your eyes, running a hand through his wet hair, combing it back. He frowned. It's over. The drops of rain clinging to his face almost could have been mistaken for tears. He sounded that disappointed. I love summer rain, little rain showers like that. It's so much fun. It's nice. Sun showers are amazing. It's truly a miracle of nature. Oh, it's fun. Wish it lasted longer. I've had enough rain for one summer day. You didn't say anything. Well, it was fun. Yeah, it's so cool that it happened. You then looked over at your door and sighed. You knew Ma wasn't going to be happy to see you trailing water into the house. Cove rubbed his arm awkwardly. He must have been thinking the same thing because he watched you sympathetically.
It's okay.
You can drive off at my house if you want. My parents won't mind. Thanks, let's do that. You're the sweetest guy I know. I don't want to cause trouble. I'm fine. You're the sweetest guy I know. Why are these... I don't want to cause trouble. You won't. Really, my parents make bigger messes than that all the time. It's okay. Then can I at least sit out here with you until you can go inside? I don't want you to have to do that. I'll go with you. Nah, you should still go dry off at your house. Of course you can stay. Want to sit? Yeah. You both sat down, a bit uncomfortable because of the wet clothes sticking to your skin, but you were happy for the company. You're a good guy for standing or sitting by me like this. Thanks.
Don't worry about it.
You don't need to thank me for that. You smiled to yourself, feeling much warmer now. Time passed in easy silence for a little while. Out of the corner of your eye, you noticed the front door of Cove's house opening. Kyra stood there in the front, and when she saw you both, she gave a big wave. Welcome to Kyra Priest, the adventure of a lifetime. Hi, Cove. Hi, Marina. Hi, Mom. She quickly made her way across the street to meet up with the two of you.
Huh?
I was wondering where you disappeared to. What happened? We got caught in a sun shower. I can't go inside until it dry off some, so Cove's been keeping me company. That was very sweet of you, baby. She ruffled Cove's wet hair and laughed at the drops of water that shook off. Then a light came to Kyra's eyes. I have an idea. Why don't we go for a drive? It has to be standing around the house, and you'll air dry it in no time. Cove only offered a shrug and bent smile to his mom. He looked at you for a real answer. Yeah, let's do it. You weren't sure about her suggestion. I don't know if my parents would want me to. No, man. Let's do it. Fine. This'll be good. Kyra pulled out her cell phone from her pocket to call your mom. They had swapped numbers early in the summer. Head on out to the garage. I'll meet you there in just a minute.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, this is the episode where Kyra and Marina become besties for life. I already know it. Sorry, my mom can be so pushy. She gets some idea in her head, and that's what she does. That's okay. Thanks for letting me come. I didn't do anything. That wasn't true at all, but you let him get away with that. Come on. Cove led you to the car, and Kyra wasn't too far behind.
Okay. Into the back, you two.
Once the three of you were situated inside, Kyra started it and drove out of the residential area. Kyra Priest's car, ladies and gentlemen. From the other side this time. She's got... I think this isn't quite an SUV. I think it might be an SUV also, but it's one of those things there's space in the back here behind the... So it's probably some kind of an SUV. Yes. Also, though... Wait a second. Was this just Cliff's car mirrored? Why is the driver's side on that side of the car? This is the US. And Kyra's from the US. Why does she have a car with the driver on the right side? This isn't a mistake. Or some sort of weird mirroring thing they did, and it doesn't work. I think this is just one of the other arts mirrored to try to be a different car so they didn't have to do a new art. I think this is just Cliff's car mirrored, but they did something weird with it. Because this doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna stop freaking out about the cars, but also this windshield, the way this looks here in the front is really weird too. But yeah. No, all the other cars make sense as American cars. But this, why is it like this? Anyway, once the three of you were situated inside, Kyra started it and drove out of the residential area. When she hit a main road, the car sped up and she rolled the back windows down all the way.
Hey!
Cove started laughing as he kept trying in vain to keep his hair from flying into his eyes too much. Meanwhile, you closed your eyes as the wind whipped against your wet clothes. I said this drive was going to be good for getting air dried. Yeah, but I didn't agree to this much air. Cove tried pressing the window button, but nothing happened. His eyebrows furrowed in frustration.
No way!
You disabled the back? Sorry, can't hear you. Smiling deviously, Kyra turned on the radio and turned it up to be heard over the wind. You laughed and enjoyed the event. You jokingly opened with the situation. You were not a fan of this stunt. You danced in your seat to the music. You danced in your seat to the music. This song is so good. You danced as much as you could while being strapped into the seat, treating the open windows as though they were some kind of wind machine for a performance. Yeah, man. Marina is here for it. I don't know that I would be here for it. So I have a confession to make, but I'll make it later in the video. Well, no, let's make it now. I complained to my friend Sorrow after seeing this moment for the first time that Kyra Priest and this whole thing is a nightmare for me. It's like my nightmare that I would never, ever, ever do this. And then I think about what I do on a regular basis. Like, for instance, Saturday, I just decided, I woke up and I was like, I'm gonna go to... Well, I've been thinking about it all week, but kind of planning it. But I do this all the time where I'm just like, I'm gonna go do a thing. And then I go do a thing because I'm single and I can do that, right? It's just me. It's just me by myself, and I can just go do whatever I want. And, you know, not that I, you know, don't think people could just do that as a it takes more work and preparation and planning when you have a family and such. But, I just decide to do, like, go to the beach, and then I did all these other things. An extra drive, extra destinations, and just all within the same day. And just show up But you'll see what she does here. It's just kind of insane. But I would do this. And I don't know why at the time I was thinking, why? Oh, this is so... I think 13-year-old me would be... I'd be more like Cove and be upset about it. But current me is like Kyra. I'm all here for it. Cove shook his head at you until he cracked a half smile. Slowly he relaxed and bopped a little the beat of the song himself. And then something struck the side of your leg. Several papers were freed from under the car seats and were blown about. Oh, they can't go out the windows. Cove began to haphazardly reach around the space to try and get all back under wraps. Amused, you helped. You helped frantically. You watched him struggle entertained. Amused, you helped. Mom, close the windows! Kyra offered no response other than a chuckle. She just kept driving. Cove snatched several of the papers out of the air, and you cut others, preventing most of them from flying out the window on your side. You showed Cove your collection and was grinning widely. So, I do think this is irresponsible. This is littering. Even if it's stuff she doesn't need or care about, it's still straight up littering. Look at how many we saved! You figured if they were sitting out in the back of the car, they couldn't be important enough to get upset over. But Cove continued looking annoyed. Your smile started to slip, and at that his expression softened. You did good. Thanks for helping. The sun set completely, and at that Kyra rolled up the windows. Cove let out a big sigh and released the random bits of paper he had in his fists. My mom is crazy. He ran a hand through his windblown hair and laughed with a bit of exasperation. Your mom is crazy for driving a British car in America. You felt good. You didn't know what was happening anymore. You were fed up. You felt good. The evening had really turned out to be more interesting than you expected. Grinning, you were happy with your odds of whatever else happened next. Cole watched you with interest until his focus was taken away by a new comment from his mom. I bet you're not feeling damp anymore. No, but now I feel tricked. You said it with Cove, you said it with Kyra, and you stayed quiet. I mean... Sorry, I'm just eating. I feel bad for this man's, but I'm not... Yeah. She did say she was taking us on a drive to air out, and that's what happened. Precisely, Marina. Kyra continued driving. The radio volume was adjusted for the closed windows, and everyone was sitting more comfortably. Kyra lowered the sound even more after pulling into a red light. She took the chance to turn around, and you caught her coy smirk. So I do that. I will turn the... especially if I have the windows down, I will turn the radio down more when I come to a red light and the car is quieter. I do that all the time. I like that. No, I do feel bad for Cove in this moment if no one's backing him up. But I'm on his mom's side, man. All the way.
So?
Does anyone know what we drove past during the tricycle? I'm not sure I want to. A movie theater. Okay, most places have one somewhere. It isn't that late, you know. We can probably still catch a show.
What?
Really? Mom, we don't even know what would be playing.
Come on.
That's what makes it fun. This is something I would never do. I would never just go to the movies and see what's playing. I do, however, randomly sometimes look at what's playing and up on like my phone and just pick something and go. Which is kind of similar to this. I want to see a movie. I'm not so sure about that. No way, that's not fun. Heck yeah. Aren't my moms expecting me back? Heck yeah. Both of you? You seemed hesitant. You gave him a smile, and Cove eased up a bit. Don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating impulsive behavior every day, but it's important to seize the moment when you can. You might never have another night like this. Absolutely. And don't worry, Marina. I said I'd watch over you for the night, not just 10 minutes or so. I'll put your parents in the loop about hitting the movies as soon as we get there. Oh, I wasn't worried about that. I didn't bring any shoes. Marina does not care what her moms think, man. She's been out in the middle of the night before as a kid. She's just that kind of kid. She lives in the moment, man. You should always bring shoes when you're going out. I'm not wearing any either. It doesn't matter. I'm not wearing any either. You lifted your foot up and wiggled your toes so Cove could see. How are we gonna go inside barefoot? I don't know. We can't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's alright.
We'll sneak through quick. No one will notice. You can do it. Just this once. You bounced in your seat excitedly. That was actually going to happen. Kyra was right. You never got to do stuff like this. Yeah. I imagine Mom would never let us do stuff like this, right? Or Ma, actually. They're both pretty. But Mom, the more I play this, the more I realize the mom is pretty strict. The mom, the one named Mom, who's always named Mom, who never changes her name. Kyra drove into the theater parking lot and shut the engine off. With the unbuckling of her seatbelt, she ushered you and Cove out. Welcome to parking lot. Oh, parking lot. God bless you. Pretty good night, though, with all the stars. Despite being hesitant to leave once outside, Cove burst into a sprint towards the cinema. You were right along with him. The tarmac was still wet from before and cold to stand on with bare feet. So I've never heard the term tarmac used for anything other than at an airport. Is that actually the proper term for a parking lot? Inside, you noticed there were no lines. All the current shows had already started. Kyra paid that no mind and strode up toward the counter with some words of encouragement. A third of the running time is ads these days. We haven't missed anything. Meanwhile, Cove stood next to you awkwardly. He shifted from one foot to the other and constantly kept looking around. It's not a third of the running time, Kyra. It's like 10 minutes at the beginning, and the movies are longer than they used to be in the 80s. I'm sorry. I can't stand people. I can't stand that. That is something I absolutely cannot stand, is getting to the movies late and missing part of the movie. Because people take their time. It's a huge pet peeve of mine. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not always super early myself. I have been late. I have missed previews. I've even gotten to the movies late before. Usually it's not my fault when do that. I'll just say that. When I don't want to go too far into this, but a huge pet peeve of mine is being late for the movies. All these people like Kyra who have this like, oh, I don't want to sit through the previews anyway. The previews are a damn good part of the whole experience for me. I love seeing what's coming up next. I love the whole experience. Going to the theater is a freaking religious experience for me, okay? I can't stand that. Anyway, sorry. Costa, his shady behavior would have made him much more likely to get caught than staying still would if there were people around to really notice. It was pretty goofy. Still, you consoled him. You teased him over it. You complained with him. You kept quiet. Still, you consoled him. You poked Cove's arm to get his attention. It only said they sold shoes at the concession. If only they sold shoes at the concession stand. Yeah, I wish. Yeah, that would have been too convenient, but we'll get through it. His expression softened into a appeased smile. Eliciting a sigh of relief out of you, Kyra returned with tickets in hand. She quickly herded you and Cove towards the showing room. I'm so sorry for this little hiccup, but hold on, we've almost made it home free. Once you sit down, it'll be smooth sailing. The lights were already off in the showing room, but the movie hadn't started yet. The upcoming movie trailers were still playing. I mean, so she really didn't miss... You really aren't that late at all. This is just like...
Aha!
Keeping her volume in a hushed tone, Kyra couldn't help but burst with excitement over your luck. You followed her down the walkway until she spotted open seats in the middle-ish of the area of the theater. So, I pretty much exclusively go to theaters these days that have reserved seating ahead of time. You don't just get tickets and show up either, which is probably part of the thing. You can't... But, I mean, there are still theaters like this, and I have been to some. Kyra pointed at the seats, looking over her shoulder at you and Cove, waiting for your input. Cove nodded and you decided to give her a thumbs up, and she led the way. When you reached your seats, Kyra sighed contentedly. Cove gave a sigh of his own and lifted his feet to sit cross-legged instead of keeping them down on the floor. This is a weird liminal thing. I get that none of the backgrounds in this game are allowed to have people in them, because that'd be hard to art and stuff, and they're just trying to do locations so you can theater of the mind everything, but the empty movie theater is weird and liminal and kind of creepy to me. He then leaned over and whispered to you.
So...
Do you have any idea what the movie is? No, I didn't hear the name or anything when your mom brought the tickets. Oh boy. After a couple more previews, the main event began. It dawned on you quickly that it was a horror film, one about a group of students being haunted by dangerous ghosts. So, what do we know about Marina and ghosts? You were psyched you could live with that. Your thoughts were this was gonna be annoying. You became nervous. You were terrified. You couldn't do this. You had to. Yeah, no, man. What do you think? Going in, you weren't sure what to expect, but this was a fantastic surprise. You hope this turned out to be good and scary. Glancing over at Cove, you noticed that he looked less than thrilled with the movie. He bit on his bottom lip and stared at the screen with trembling eyes. Poor little boy Cove is still afraid of ghosts. Cove had never been a fan of ghosts or intentionally frightening things. There was something you'd learned about him early on. You remained still. You tapped Cove on the shoulder to get his attention. You angled your body in the seat to be closer to him. You grabbed hold of his hand. You covered your ears. Why would you cover your ears? You tapped Cove on the shoulder to get his attention. You gave him a slight pat, and he jumped slightly at the unexpected touch. Cove looked at you unsure. You offered Cove, "Are you okay?" He smiled back and nodded shakily, not wanting to push him. You gave him a soft smile back. Sometimes the other people in the theater screamed or jeered or clapped depending on what was happening. Your heart was pounding in your chest when the movie finally came to an end. The main character resolved the hauntings, but in a dark conclusion, they didn't make it out alive. You stayed to let the credits roll for the theater to clear out. Then it was time to head back to the car. I don't do this. I am the first person out of the theater. I want to get back to my car and efficiently and go home. I think the Marvel movie thing that people got so used to, where you stayed till the end of the credits to see Thanos talk about how he was going to do it himself and grab his glove out of his closet, is bullshit. And I think everybody expects that now, and at every movie. And now, especially Marvel movies, you wait through the credits and you get some dumb scene of Bruce Campbell becoming unfrozen. And like yelling. And then it's like, whoa, I stayed for this whole thing? This is all I stayed for? Both you and Cove took the same seats in the back of the car again. Even though it was late, Kyra was exuding an upbeat, cheerful energy. What a great flick.
I guess.
It wasn't so bad in the end. You enjoyed it, baby? No, I mean, it's hard to explain. I got really tense, and I guess that's the point of horror stuff. Like, I don't want to have to feel like that. Now that it's all over, though, it was sort of cool to do.
Fantastic.
That's so great. Marina, how are you feeling? It was awesome. It was terrible, but that made it fun. It was just bad. It was alright. You shrugged. It was awesome. Kyra smiled at that. I still can't believe they died. It's nice when things aren't all obvious, and you don't really know how it'll end until you see it, but I wanted to go better. I demand a happier ending. I loved how it all fell apart when it seemed like things were gonna be okay. I saw it coming. I nodded along with Cove. You nodded along with Cove was saying. It was so lame. I'm sorry, Cove. Marina Foster is this kind of person. I love how it all fell apart when it seemed like things were gonna be okay. I thought it fit what they were going for. That's true. You and Cove spent the rest of the car ride absorbed in the conversation about the movie. So, who's hungry? You were surprised when you realized that Kyra didn't drive you home, but to a drive-thru burger restaurant instead. I'm not hungry. You shook your head no. Yeah, you nodded. Why not? That's the spirit. Get whatever you want. Oh, geez. We just immediately get this. Okay. Okay, well, I had never thought about what Marina Foster likes to eat this much. This is one of the first ones where this gets dropped on you. Wow. Wow. I mean, wow. So, personal confession, I hate fast food hamburgers. I think they're disgusting. I have had, like, I think when I was a kid, like, McDonald's made me, like, physically ill a few times, and I can no longer do that. My go-to has always been a chicken sandwich, and maybe even better, a spicy chicken sandwich. I think Marina, however, is actually at a stage in her life where she's, we're gonna get chicken nuggets, I think. And fries. Or onion rings. How about a double order of onion rings? No, french fries. And, probably a soda. I think she... Yeah, I think so. And I think that's everything. Well, I'm going crazy. Just that. It's late at night. Is that alright?
Of course.
It's A-okay. Kyra pulled up to the window and ordered what you had asked for first, and she decided to order one of everything on the value menu. Yeah, she is... So I could have gotten nothing, and she gets one of everything on the value menu. So I'm getting this and everything else that she ordered. Kyra and her frickin' McChickens over here. The queen of McChickens. I forgot that she orders one of everything on the value menu. Oh my god. Whoa, what are you gonna do with all that? Eat it.
Really?
The whole menu? That's right, there are only maybe 10 things on it, and they're about $1 each. I can swing it, and besides, whatever we don't finish, I'm gonna feed to your dad. He'll be in heaven. Cove sighed affectionately at her mother's antics. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're quite welcome. Yeah, I just figured she wouldn't be hungry after all the watermelon. She's not gonna be... I'm trying to express this whole thing that Marina isn't a heavy eater. Like, she's not gonna be, like, super packing on everything. A few minutes later, Kyra exchanged her money for multiple bags of food, which she quickly tossed to you both in the back seats. Then she drove off into the night. Can you pass me something? What should I grab? Surprise me. You chose one of the wrap sandwiches and handed it to her. You had no idea if it was a burger or something else.
Thank you.
Accepting that this is what was happening, Cove shrugged and started pulling food out of the bags for himself. Cove ended up with some onion rings and he happily munched on them. You selected something randomly. You made sure to grab something you liked. I mean, we ordered food for ourselves. We're not gonna, like, just pick something randomly. You weren't even questioning Kyra's crazy ride anymore. The adventure continued, and you were so preoccupied in the back seat that you almost didn't realize the car had stopped. Kyra turned to look over her shoulder. Okay, party people, it seems you reached the end of the road. Confused, you checked out the window and saw nothing except empty road ahead. Then you noticed it, the now leaving sign. Kyra took you through the entire town. What are we doing here? Kyra turned the car around and parked it alongside the road. I think you both could use a break to stretch your legs, and I doubt anyone is going to come through here this time of night. Besides, I need to make a call, so go on. Cove shook his head and got out of the car without a fight. You followed Cove. Yeah, because we gotta reuse this, right, from the runaway? He got out of the car and cut up to Cove. He was busy looking at the stars and stretching his arms while he strolled around. So you know it's kind of a small town because you can see all the stars so well. There's not a lot of light pollution. That's one of the indications that Sunset Bird ain't a big place. Just saying. You can out here obviously, but even in that parking lot at the movie theater, you could still see the stars really good. In a big city, you can't see stars. Too much light pollution. You thought being here was exciting. Being here was pretty cool in your mind. You didn't care much overall. You felt worried, you were mad, you just felt tired. You thought being here was exciting. You were delighted with the wide open sky above and an abstract view of the landscape around it was freeing. It's amazing we're all the way out here. Cove smiled, glancing from the stars to you. Are we gonna have a callback to the runaway moment now? Shortly after, you noticed Cove's expression changed. His eyebrows furrowed and it seemed like he was thinking hard about what he wanted to say next.
I'm so sorry.
Marina, I'm really sorry for my mom being crazy tonight. She isn't always like this. Seriously. Cove, buddy. This line made perfect sense when it was little Sorrow in here, being all, like, upset and nervous about everything. But the entire time, Marina has been just ecstatic and having the best time of her life, man. Do you think you need to apologize for this? You mean she doesn't kidnap the neighbors all the time? Cove snorted briefly before becoming serious once more. I think she feels like she has to get out there, do things with me while she can. And she wants to make the time memorable. This visit has been really different than the others, and it didn't start off good. Thinking about how Kyra's trip began this summer, you could understand why Cove was thinking along those lines. She probably wanted all the trouble to be worth it in the end. Aren't you having a good time with your mom around? Okay, I get it. She shouldn't have made me part of it. You nodded in understanding. She's giving you a taste of her medicine. What does that mean? You said nothing. What, a taste of his own medicine? What? I don't get what did Cove do that she'd be giving him a taste of his own medicine for? Just because she's... I don't really... Because he's always coming into her world, making her do things he wants to do? Are you having a good time with your mom around? Yeah, it's still weird having her and Dad in the same house, but I love her. She's my mom. I like hanging out with her. Most of the time. It went silent between you both, so you jumped when you heard the sound of the car door closing. Cove, Marina! You turned to see Kyra on the driver's side waving. The sight brought a smile to Cove's face, and she quickly made her way over to where both of you were standing. Thanks for waiting. Oh. She is dressed differently than the day we first saw her, I just realized. She's, got a little simple white top and shorts on it. I don't think she was dressed this way the same before. Or was she? Is she always dressed the same? I think they're always all dressed the same, right? I don't know. I don't mind.
My baby.
How'd I end up with such a polite boy? She ruffled his hair and Cove... Yeah, I don't know about that, man. She ruffled his hair and Cove lowered his head, accepting the compliment. You thought about how interesting it was to see how Cove interacted with his mom. And then the memory hit you. That first summer you and Cove came to this very spot in the runaway attempt to find his way back to his mom. And now you were all here together. There we go! That's what I was waiting for. That's it. Yup. Mm-hmm. They remembered. You kept that thought to yourself. You whispered it to Cove. You said it out loud. Hey Cove, this is where you went trying to see her when you moved to Sunset Bird. Do you remember?
Huh?
What does that mean? Cove gaped at you. It became clear that his mom hadn't known about that adventure. You came here to see me? Kyra's eyes grew large as the words fully sunk in. I heard you wanted to visit, but no one ever said you actually tried to do it on your own. Never mind, you made it all the way through the entire town. Cove hung his head in shame. Even in the dark, there was no mistaking his red face was how red his face was burning. Yeah, I have ruined this man's night multiple times, but that's okay. Marina is that person, man. I love this Kyra face. I want to use the movie theater, but I just need a moment with this. This is just, yeah.
Oh.
It's alright, little man. She started rubbing his back soothingly. It's definitely too late to punish you for it. I'm just glad you ended up being fine. This is an impressive distance for such a tiny guy to travel. Right? When Kyra spoke to him positively, there still seemed to be something sad in her tone. I hope you'll never feel like you have to run away again.
Sorry.
I don't want to run away anymore, don't worry. She offered him a small smile. You laughed. You felt extremely embarrassed. You apologized to Cove. You didn't feel like this was mean. You apologized to Cove. I should not have said that. It's okay. I should have said something myself before. Kyra let out a big breath of air. We should probably call it a night, huh? Yes, let's go. Finally, you shrugged. You felt disappointed it was actually over. Yeah, this. You had kind of hoped on some other unexpected things would pop up to keep things going. Kyra shyly smiled and gestured to the car. Quietly, y'all made your way back to her. I think the vibe is muted now, right? Cove naturally followed you, taking a seat nearby in the back with a collection of fast food bags still strewn about. I can't stand... I mean, I understand in this case they have no choice, they haven't been home, but I can't stand it when people leave their car full of fast food shit. I can't stand it. You rested your head into the seat as the car roared to life. As you did, Cove leaned closer to whisper. Hey, I can talk to your moms if they do get mad about tonight for some reason. It was my mom's idea and you didn't have a choice. Thank you. Thanks, I might need it. I'm just glad we're heading back. This is worth it even if they get mad. Your mouth pulled into the biggest grin. You laughed at Cove. If you say so. Cove smiled bashfully at you but said nothing else. The drive home was smooth and uneventful. The radio was completely off, and you felt your eyelids getting heavy. Yeah, to be fair, when I was a kid, I slept in the car a lot. I still do if I can, but usually I'm the one driving these days. Your head rested on the side of the car. Ew! Your thoughts were quieting as your eyelids grew heavy. When you opened your eyes, you expected you'd still be in the car, not your bedroom. It was somehow already morning. You couldn't remember how you ended up there. One of the moms had to have carried you. Sitting up in bed, you thought about how last night was quite an experience. So one of the moms would have had to have carried you. I'm banking on Ma. Probably. It felt almost like a dream more than a real event, but it definitely happened. And you were glad that you got to have a spontaneous escapade this summer. And that's it. Wow, that was shorter than I thought. How is this such a long moment? I thought this was a short moment, and this was a really long moment. This is ridiculously short. Wow. Well, there we go. We did it. We did one of my favorite moments of the whole game, but it went by really quick. Because Marina had a good time, and Kyra is the coolest mom ever. We'll see you next time.